Hi, I'm your host, Tia Wiley, speaking to you from the inside of a cell. There are two different types of cells, the plant cell and the animal cell. First, let's cover the animal cell because I'm in the animal cell now. See? This cell has mitochondria, ribosomes, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, and lysosomes. Guess what organelles are found in plant and animal cells? Even though plant and animal cells are microscopic, they are very complex and have many parts that function to keep the cell alive. Many of these parts are membrane-bound organelles that perform a specific function. The nucleus is an organelle in the eukaryotic cells that contains the cell's genetic material. DNA is stored right here in the nucleus. DNA is genetic material that contains information needed for cell processes, such as making proteins. Although DNA is found in the nucleus, proteins are not made there. Instead, instructions for how to make proteins are stored in the DNA. Organisms need energy for life processes. Cells get energy by breaking down food using a process called cellular respiration. Cellular respiration occurs in an organelle called the mitochondrion, which is this. Cells break down the sugar glucose to release energy stored in the sugar. Mitochondria then transfer the energy released from the sugar to a molecule called ATP. Cells use ATP to carry out cell processes. Mitochondria have their own DNA and they have two membranes. The outer membrane is smooth, the inner membrane has many folds. Folds increase the surface area inside the mitochondria where nuclear respiration occurs. Proteins control most chemical reactions of cells and provide structural support for cells and tissues. Making, packaging, and transporting proteins requires many organelles. The ribosome is the organelle that makes proteins by putting together chains of amino acids using instructions encoded in the cell's DNA. Amino acid is any of about 20 different carbon-based molecules that are used to make proteins. Ribosomes are the smallest organelles. Ribosomes are not enclosed in a membrane. In prokaryotes, the ribosomes are suspended freely in the cytoplasm. In eukaryotes, some ribosomes are free and others are attached to another organelle called endoplasmic reticulum. In the cytoplasm is a system of membranes near the nucleus called the endoplasmic reticulum, or ER. The ER assists in the production, processing, and transport of proteins and in the production of lipids. The ER is either smooth or rough. The rough ER has ribosomes attached to its membrane, while smooth ER doesn't. Ribosomes on the rough ER make many of the cell's proteins. The smooth ER makes lipids and breaks down toxic materials that could damage the cell. The membrane-bound organelle that packages and distributes materials such as proteins is called the Golgi complex. It is named after Camillo Golgi, the Italian scientist who first identified the organelle. The Golgi complex is a system of flattened membrane sacs. Lipids and proteins from the ER are delivered to the Golgi complex, where they may be modified to do different jobs. The final products are enclosed in a piece of the Golgi complex's membrane. This membrane pinches off to form a small bubble or vesicle. The vesicle transports its contents to other parts of the cell or out of the cell. Do you know what additional part is found in animal cells? Animal cells are eukaryotic cells that contain a nucleus and are surrounded by a cell membrane. They contain many of the same organelles as most plant cells, including mitochondria, ribosomes, ER, and Golgi complex. Some animal cells also contain a membrane-bound organelle called a lysosome. Organelles called lysosomes contain digestive enzymes which break down worn out or damaged organelles, waste materials, and foreign invaders in the cell. Some of these materials are collected in vacuoles. A lysosome attaches the vacuole and releases the digestive enzymes inside. Some of these materials are recycled and reused in the cell. Here are some ways that plants are different from animals. Plants don't have an I had to start over. Plants don't move, and some have flowers. Plant cells have everything animal cells have, but also have a cell wall, large central vacuole, and chloroplast. The cell wall is a rigid structure that surrounds the cell membrane. Cell walls provide support and protection to the cell. Plants don't have a skeleton like many animals do, so they get their shape from the cell wall. Plant cells also have a large central vacuole that stores water. Chloroplasts are organelles where photosynthesis occurs. Photosynthesis is the process by which cells use sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water to make sugar and oxygen. Well, that completes our show. See you next time.